let's get started with our moon squats. Hopefully it's not too hot where we are. Moon squats will get you just a little bit sweaty. All right, so feet roughly shoulder-ish width distance, toes out. Here we go. Inhale, bring those arms up nice and high. Exhale, squat it down. Chin to chest as you come down, good. As you inhale, arms out and around, so big range of motion for the shoulders. And then as you exhale, try to sit back as far as you can so your weight's in your heels, and then alternate which arm is on top. Little pressure into your forearms. Good, inhale, stand up. Just a little bit of the back bend, so you feel a little stretch in your core. And then make sure you're really sitting back into the heels. And making fists with your hands. We're also engaging through the hands. Good. Inhale, take it up. Good. Exhale, squat back. Lots of weight in the heels. Good. Chin to chest. Rounding forward. Good. One more on this side. Inhale, reach up. And exhale. Good. Pause here. Put your hands on the floor. Shake your head out a couple times. Yes and no. Good. All right, second set. Press into those heels as you stand up. Make sure you're using your glutes. Reach up nice and high. Maybe a little bit bigger back bend on the second set. Sit back. Alternate which arm is on top. Squeeze the hands, chin to chest. Good. Big, full breaths in. Chest expands, belly expands. Exhale, try to get it all out. Good. Inhale, take it up. Exhale back. I keep forgetting which arm is on top.
So how do you remember?
Oh, if you always do like the right one first, you can count. Otherwise, I don't know. I'll have to think of a good thing and figure it out for you. Mostly I just try to put the opposite one on top because that's usually what I need to do. Pause here, put your hands on the floor, shake it out. I always put the right one on top, so usually if I can't remember, I put the left one on top. So that's probably what's needed. Good. Before you get up for the third set, see if you can scoot your heels apart just a little bit more. It doesn't have to be a lot. Good. All right. And then as you're ready, weight in the heels, use your glutes. Rise up. Good. So if we start right hand on top. There we go. Good. Ooh, take it up. And then on the evens, we'll go left arm on top. Squeeze your fist, chin to chest. My goodness. Ooh. Right arm. Nice and low. Good, last two. Reach up nice and high. Left arm on top this time. Good, weight back in the heels. Last one, I think I miscounted, but that's fine. Last one, right arm on top. Hands to the floor, shake it out, that's it. Whew. All right, we're gonna come right down onto your buns. Make sure you've got some water handy tonight. Grab a quick sip, like in between poses, just to make sure that we're still hydrating. Our first pose tonight is asymmetrical happy baby pose. So for this, you're gonna need some sort of strap. Was that a yay?
Yeah, I love happy baby.
Oh, fabulous. I hope you still love it after we hold it for a long time. And so we're gonna go 3 minutes on each leg. Now it's a little bit weird to do asymmetrical, so I'll give you a quick demo. Let's see. So it's a great, let me see, I think this is a good angle here. So doing it one side at a time, right? Instead of usually happy baby looks like this, we're gonna do one leg at a time. So if you can do happy baby by putting your elbow to your knee and grabbing the outside of your foot, you're welcome to do it without a strap. If you need a strap, hook the strap in the arch or maybe towards the ball of your foot. And then make sure that your knee is open wide, almost like a butterfly, kind of in your underarm, really. And then pull that strap down. Opposite leg is straight if you can get it straight. If you need to bend the knee, that's also okay. And you just want to keep pulling that foot down. Let the weight of your arm pull it down. So you're mostly feeling a stretch deep in the back of this leg. And then we'll drop right into our 4-8 breathing, right? So we're gonna breathe in through the nose for the count of 4. And then open mouth, exhale for 8. Good. So dings at every minute as normal. Here's our first one. We're gonna hold this pose for 3 minutes on each side. Good, so that first principle is that 4-8 breathing, that slow breathing to help relax the nervous system, help put you into that rest and digest parasympathetic nervous system state. Second principle is wet noodle. So try to relax as much as you can, especially in this pose. Check in with the straight leg. See if you can get it to relax a little bit more. Check in with your quad, your core, and even with your shoulder. Relax through the neck. Even relax the toes of the foot that you're stretching, right? So here's our last minute. So most people will feel this in their hamstring. Some of you will feel your adductors or maybe even your calf. You also may feel something in the opposite leg in the hip flexor. As long as you are feeling a stretch, you are doing it right. All right, let's go ahead and bend that leg. You hug your knees into your chest, go side to side a couple of times. Sometimes it's nice to kind of kick the leg straight up to the sky too if you need to straighten it out a few times. Okay. All right, coming into the other side. So bend the knee. If you're using your hand, your elbow's on the inside of your knee and you're reaching for the outside of your foot. If you're using your strap, you can use both hands or you can put the strap in one hand. Either way is just fine. Timer's going, we're relaxing the other leg as much as possible. Good, and then diving right into that 4-8 breathing. Nice and slow, in through the nose. And then open mouth, exhale for 8. If you're using a strap and your hands are getting a little tired, you can always do a wrap around. That usually helps to take some of the pressure off your grip strength, right? And you can use the weight of your arms a bit more. As always, our sides are usually a little bit different. So remember that you're looking for roughly a 7 out of 10 intensity. So not quite your max, but you definitely want the stretch to be intense enough that it would be hard to have a conversation while you're holding it. And that you really need to focus on your breath to hold it. See if you can find that spot and stay there. Here's our last minute, everybody. We're breathing in for the count of 4. Open mouth, exhaling for 8. Good, last few moments. All right, begin to lower that knee. Give your knees a little hug into your chest. Just gentle rock side to side. And then nice and gently begin to come up to a comfortable seat, and we'll meet in a seated forward fold. So this pose, you can see Jason's grabbing a block here. This pose is a really great one to lift your hips up a little bit. Let's see. I don't have anything super handy in this direction, but if you lift your hips up a little bit, it'll help to push your pelvis forward. Yeah, towel is really great. Love. Good. And then as we start with your back pretty straight. Your heels can be a few inches apart, but remember, as with all these poses, relaxed legs. So start with the legs relaxed. You can give them a couple of wiggles. Good. And then you may want to have a few blocks handy to put your arms up on. Take a deep breath in, reach your arms up nice and high. And as you exhale, you're going to reach for your toes. And then let your hands hang wherever. It's no problem to just let your hands rest on the floor with your palms up. I really like to put my elbows on blocks because it takes a little bit of the intensity of the curve in the low back out. Your low back feels great. Feel free to keep reaching forward and lean into that rounding. If it doesn't feel so great, you can always lift the back up a little bit. So a little bit less energy in this pose, right? So we're gonna hold this one for a full 5 minutes tonight. So really begin to pace yourself. Remember that you're looking for that 7 out of 10 intensity. And dropping right into a 4-8 breathing. Take a nice slow breath in through the nose. Good, and that full 8 count, exhale back out. See if you can almost ride the wave of your breath by, as you inhale, kind of letting your belly fill, your torso will just gently rise up. And as you exhale, you'll start to lean a little bit farther forward. Almost as if you can imagine yourself kind of being in a sailboat and you're slightly shifting side to side. Take a little time to scan through your body and just notice if you're holding tension anywhere. Where can you let go of some effort? Sure that your ankles and your toes are totally relaxed. Continuing to ride that wave of your breath. Breathing in for 4, feeling your belly lift. And exhaling for 8, feeling your belly get a little closer to your legs. Using our breath and our relaxation to calm the nervous system. Our last minute. Checking back in with that intensity level. Searching for 7. And then fall right back into that breath. Nice and slow. Begin to move back up and out of the pose. Take a couple of shoulder rolls, neck rolls. Good. And bend your knees. You might need to use your hands to help. Place your hands behind you and we'll let your knees fall side to side. All right, we're gonna make our way into saddle pose next. So saddle pose is really similar to hero pose with a slight variation. So hero pose, you put your knees together and your feet apart. Saddle pose, you put your feet together and your knees apart. So if you're familiar with child's pose, the legs look the same as child's pose. So toes touch, knees about mat width distance or so. If you can't sit on your feet, you can prop a block up underneath the hips. Yeah, that's good, Betty. Good. You are sitting on the heels, or the heels might just slightly come to the outsides of your hips. Good. So we're gonna hold this one for 5 minutes as well. And I'll give you some extra modifications kind of as we get into the pose. But the first thing to do is try to settle your torso right over the ankles. Once again, if you need to be up on a block or two, you can absolutely do that to take some of that intensity out of the ankles. Some people will feel this almost entirely in their ankles. Some will start to feel it on the quads and the inner thighs, especially as we get into different variations here. Good. That's our first minute in already. Let's start with that slow breathing in for 4 and out for 8. Good. If you're feeling like you've reached your intensity level here, 7 out of 10, feel free to stay. If you're feeling like you want a little bit more intensity, we'll begin to bring your hands behind you, bringing some more weight back, and this will help to stretch through the quads and the adductors, and definitely still through the ankles. Good. And then just depending on how your body feels from here, you can drop down maybe to one elbow and then the other. Or if you feel up for it, dropping all the way down onto your back. Good. You might take some time to get there. We've got a full 5 minutes or 2 minutes in. So you got plenty of time to play around in this pose. Good. Remembering to breathe. Going in for 4. Exhaling for 8. Keep that slow, relaxed breath going. Then pay special attention to your knees in this pose. If your knees are feeling a good stretch, that's great. If you're feeling maybe just sort of a generalized intensity in the knees, no problem. If you can take your finger and point to a specific spot in your knee that hurts, please back out of this pose a bit until that sort of very specific intensity relaxes. Many of the poses that we do, right, will bring on, for sure, intensity, sometimes things called pressure pain, which you might be feeling the tops of your feet or even your ankles, might feel the pressure being pushed into the floor. That's no problem. That's not going to hurt you. It's just uncomfortable. And if you're feeling anything that's really specific, especially in the knees, something that you can point to, then we want to come out of the pose until that goes away. Continuing to breathe. Sometimes I find it helpful to send my breath into the spots in my body that feel really tight. So for me right now, I'm feeling my ankles and my hip flexors. So we take a big breath in and kind of imagine sending the breath into those tight areas to help loosen them up. That can be helpful. You might imagine the muscle fibers loosening or unwinding, almost like pieces of licorice. Okay. All right, you guys, nice and slow. We'll come up and out of this, especially if you're all the way down on your back. Really take your time as you come out. So meet in a tabletop and give the top of your feet a couple of kicks. It also might feel really good to take a downward facing dog. Curl the toes under and lift your hips up, and then gently press one heel and then the other down. All right, and then we'll come back down, grab a quick sip of water, and then we'll come into a straddle pose next. So just like that seated forward fold that we did, it's nice to have something underneath the hips here. Just a little lift. Good. And then legs out in a wide V. I also like to have blocks for this pose. If your low back is starting to feel a little bit sore, you could even put a chair in front of you to lean up onto. If you're okay with a little bit more bend in your back, the blocks can be really nice. If you feel great and you want to fully embrace that rounded back, feel free to walk your hands forward and lean all the way forward. All right, so legs are as far apart as you can get them. And then give your legs a little wiggle to try to relieve any tension. Yep. Get them as jiggly and as wet noodly as you can. And then you're pressing into your hips, right? We're really feeling the stretch in the adductors, insides of your thighs. Many people will also feel this on their hamstrings. Good, relax through your toes and your ankles. And then you can let your chin rest forward towards your chest. Having as much or as little rounding in the spine as feels okay for you. If you're coming forward enough, yeah, you can even stack a couple of blocks and put them underneath your head. We'll hold this pose for a full 5 minutes as well. So take your time settling in, looking for that 7 out of 10 intensity. You might find yourself having to adjust quite a bit to keep that 7 out of 10. So feel free to continue to inch forward as you feel your legs open up. Just remember to keep the toes and the ankles relaxed. Relax through the shoulders. Your knees are feeling any kind of soreness here. You might place something underneath them or try to give them a slight bend. If your hips are lifted pretty high, just watch out for hyperextension in the knee joint, pushing that knee farther backwards than it should go. Yeah, Patty, you can stick your hands underneath the knees like that, yeah. I go from the back though, usually.
I was getting a reverse stretch on my wrist.
Yeah, oh, there you go, perfect. I love it, doubling it up. Yeah, we got 1 more minute, everybody. And let your head just fall forward. All right, everybody, nice and slow. Begin to lift upper body back up. Move your props out of the way. And then being extra nice to your legs. Use your hands to bend your knees. We'll take those same kind of windshield wipers back and forth here. Take feet together, or feet forward, and then go side to side. As you go to the sides, you can really tip the knee all the way in, being a big internal rotation at the same time. Grabbing another sip of water. We'll need a strap for the next pose. You may also want to have a block handy, or a chair or a stool or something. We're gonna do an IT band stretch with the strap. And so you'll come down onto your back, grab this strap in your hands, and then put your right leg in the strap. Left leg is straight if you can. Having it bent might make it a little bit difficult to do this stretch. So if you can, straighten it out. If not, we'll work it out. Good, so I like to put my block up on its highest setting. I don't know, about an arm's length distance away, kind of in line with my hip, just a prep. And then you'll put the strap in your left hand and let your leg fall open to the left. Good. And if you can get it to set on something, then you can actually relax a little bit more. So it's nice to have something to let your leg rest on. If not, no worries, you can absolutely just hang it in the air. It's just a little bit more work. We're just gonna do 2 minutes on each side for this. For some of you, look, if you're holding onto that strap, more than that gets to be a little bit too long to hold the weight of your leg. So you're looking for straight arms and straight legs. And then you're looking for the stretch here to happen in the outside of the right leg, maybe even all the way up into the hip joint, possibly even into the low back up towards the QL. Anywhere along there is really great. These 2 minutes will feel really fast after all the 5-minute holds. So looking for that 7 out of 10 intensity right away. We're already halfway there. And if you can, keep your head looking just straight up towards the sky. And then relax as much as you possibly can, even relaxing through the quadricep of that right leg. That's it. Here's our 2 minutes already. I find it helpful to bend the knee first and then gently bring it back up to center. We'll take the strap off. All the kitties are saying hello tonight. Bend your knees. Find a couple of circles. Okay.
Clara came looking for the cat.
She's really chatty tonight, you guys. We'll move into the other leg whenever you're ready. So right leg will go straight, left foot will come in the strap. Remember, having that block set up and handy can be really helpful, but also know that you might need a different height on this side. So straps in the right hand, and then up and over to the right. Keeping just a little bit of tension on that strap. Good. And then finding those straight arms and straight legs. And then looking for that wet noodle. See if you're clenching anywhere in your jaw, in your belly, in your hands where you don't need to. Your toes and your feet. Just about 30 seconds left. Feel free to make any adjustments. Being gentle with this hip. This is a very leveraged position to have the hip in, so you definitely don't want to push past that 7 out of 10, just to make sure that your hip stays in a really stable and safe place. Just being mindful of your body. There it is. Unhook that strap, bend your knee a little bit, and then roll back onto your back. Good. And we'll hug both knees in. And feel free to just stay on the ground. A couple of side to sides, maybe some circles. And then we're going to find a reclined butterfly. Jody, did you just know where we're going? So take your feet together, knees open wide, and just let your legs flop open. You can always put something underneath your legs here if this feels like too much intensity. Or you can just put blocks or books or blankets or something to give sort of like little breaks underneath the legs. If you feel fine just letting your knees hang in the air, feel free to just do that. And if you'd like here, you could take one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart, and just really feel the breath come in through your body, your belly lifting, your chest expanding, your rib cage. And on the exhale, feeling everything can deflate and come back in. Going back to the 5-minute holds for this one. Settle in. Keeping your gaze straight up towards the ceiling above you. Just feeling that wave of breath coming in. And then exhaling for 8, feeling the breath go back out. Relaxing through your face, your jaw, your eyes, your shoulders. Letting that relaxed feeling travel down into your hips. And as you breathe, send that breath down into your hips. Very slowly beginning to bring your hands back down to the outsides of your legs. Helping your legs close together like a book. And then pulling your knees into your chest. With a couple of rocks or circles. And begin to kick your legs straight up in the air. Take a couple of ankle circles. Reverse it. Point and flex. Good, and then put your hands up. And then let's have a tantrum. Kick and wiggle. That's it. Feel free to make some noise. Maybe you slap the ground. If it's okay where you are, maybe you yell and scream a little bit. Good, we got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let it totally relax. Woo. Find your final relaxation pose. You can be on the ground. If it feels better for your low back to bend your knees, you could let your knees knock in and your feet walk out. You can always sit up in a chair. Take a moment to get comfortable. Take a full deep breath in. And a slow breath back out. Excuse me. So today we'll practice using sound to bring us back to the present. People use external cues for lots of things. For example, some people use an alarm to wake themselves up in the morning or remind them of appointments. Some people use Post-it notes on the fridge to remind them to eat healthy or offer support when trying to quit smoking. Using a bell as a mindfulness trigger for your meditation practice is a gentle and effective way to bring us back to awareness and wake us up to the present moment. Whenever you hear the ring of the bowl, allow it to serve as a reminder to come back to the breath, back to the present. Finding a comfortable position that allows your breath to flow easily without constriction. Let your shoulders relax and let your hands fall gently on the floor or in your belly. Close your eyes and allow your face and chest to be soft. Take a few deep breaths and settle into the awareness of your body. Feel your breath flow in and out in the areas of your chest, abdomen, or nostrils, wherever you feel the breath the strongest. Feel the full breath cycle from the beginning through the middle, all the way to the end, without control, direction, or force. Let the breath breathe itself. Let the breath become your anchor. Observe it with awareness as it enters and leaves your body. Allow your breath to become deeper, not trying to force it in any way. It will naturally become deeper, slower, as your body and your mind relax. Continue breathing in and out. As you hear the bowl ring, gently come back to the breath. Breathing in, follow your inhale to its end. Breathing out, follow your exhale to its completion. Breathing in, feel the body relax. Breathing out, feel your body at peace. Following the breath in and out from the beginning of the inhale all the way to its exhale. Let go of whatever your mind was focusing on and return to the room. Return to your point of attention. Return to the breath. Each time you're pulled to a sensation, especially if it's strong. Just notice it. Observe what's going on within your body with curiosity, but without creating a story about the experience. If you notice yourself lost in thought, you can say to yourself, thinking, or wondering, and redirect your attention back to breathing. Whenever you lose your attention, compassionately, gently, bring it back. You may have to do this hundreds of times during your practice. That's okay. Just continue to come back to your focus in a gentle way. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, follow your inhale to its end. Breathing out, follow your exhale to its completion. Breathing in, feel your body relax. Breathing out, feel your body at peace. In our daily lives, there are many ways that we can use external cues to help us become present. Today, try and think of some external cues that you can use as mindfulness reminders. Maybe there's a creaky door in your home, or the hum of the refrigerator. Or you could have some cues when you're outside, like children laughing or an airplane flying overhead. It can be anything. Mindfulness cues are extremely powerful to bring you back to the present moment. Take one more deep, full breath in. And as you exhale, begin to come back to the room and your body. Take a moment to notice how your mind feels. And then begin to make a little bit of movement in your body. Take your hands together at your heart. The light in me honors, bows, and surrenders to the light within each of you. Namaste.